Good morning, everyone. We are live, and this is day 2 of Dare to Be Great Fall Virtual Conference. And we are going to be starting out with Diamond sponsor speakers out of Evans Consoles. Up at the top, we got Tanya Lee, who is the manager with Evans Care. Also, her beau, Nathan Lee, is right there with her. Hello. And we have Matt Coase, the CTO with Evans Consoles. How's it going?
Good morning.
All
He's
right.
the really important one.
Oh,
Well, we're about to get started.
Chief Technology Officer, not Communications Training Officer. A CTO can kind of get
Oh
confusing.
yeah, I
in the
didn't really think
911
about
world.
that.
Yeah.
good point.
There you go. Very well done. Yes. Very well done. Well, they're going to be doing a session, an opening session today as a Diamond sponsor speaker. And thank you very much for being a Diamond sponsor of the Dare to Be Great 2 Fall Virtual Conference. And this is called The People. Take it away, everyone.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you for having us, and it's a real pleasure to be here. And I think today what we're going to talk about is kind of the people of 911, and more importantly, how they or how you change industry perspectives. It's been eye-opening for me, and certainly I'm sure for Tanya. A lot of people just listening to all the feedback and the stories is incredibly valuable. So we wanted to take some time to reflect on that and kind of use that as a kickoff to a day, which I'm sure will be filled with great sessions, as was yesterday. So we're really looking forward to it. Observing kind of as somebody coming from industry, the role of a 911 dispatcher is very challenging, and you guys continue to do incredible work through kind of continuously evolving challenges that are out there. We talk about training and certification. There's ongoing technology evolution in every aspect. There's operator safety and environment emphasis. There's global events, just a few recently, that are going on and impacting all of us. And then, a big story is employee retention and development. These are all sort of things that are happening simultaneously. And this is from a presentation I did yesterday, and I have to take a moment to kind of apologize for some of the technical issues that were on my end. As I said to Ricardo, where's a CTO when you need one? But we couldn't resolve. But that presentation will be available after the conference on YouTube. So for those of you who tried to hear me but couldn't, my apologies. So one of the slides I talked about is kind of the dispatch operation. And if you think of this kind of pyramid as kind of, you've got your core systems, you've got buildings and power systems and all of this communication infrastructure. Then you've got IT systems, operational support, building management, radio systems, CAD systems. All of these things are in place because of that little triangle at the top of the pyramid, which is you. All of those centers are built around making sure that your role can be performed. And, you guys are the reason that comm centers are built. But, sometimes the needs of the dispatcher are not considered until late in the process. That's kind of been a historic thing. And, often you can end up with an environment that's designed based on technology, budget, or other constraints. So you kind of have to work around them. And really, it should be designed around you. And what we're seeing, especially in the last few years, is a real move to what we call operator-focused design. We're starting to see agencies and centers that are really starting to consider the operational aspect early on, which is very exciting. And you'll see how, for us as an industry, these types of events really help make that happen. So I'm just going to very quickly talk about Evans, just a little bit of our background so you have some context for those of you who don't know about us. So Evans's mission is to design and equip mission-critical operations. So we look at the entire control room. Mission-critical operation can be a comm center, it can be an air traffic control tower. In this case, it can be the launch control room at the Kennedy Space Center. So we look at all different types of mission-critical operations. And where we're able to gain a unique perspective is we do about 20 to 25 control room projects every month, and that really allows us to kind of have our finger on the pulse of the industry and really understand what these mission critical facilities are about. Our approach to to the industry in general is, we look to build tailored solutions to the specific operation. And the other part of it is Evans looks at holistically the entire life cycle, if you will, of your control room, starting with consulting, which kind of deals with workshops and conceptual design and operational planning. And then we do control room design, which is more on the architectural side and the interior design. Then we have a construction services team. We are obviously famous for our consoles, which we design and manufacture. And then we do installation and commissioning. And then we have a part of our business which is called Evans Care, which is that ongoing support for our customers to make sure that their center is well maintained, is clean, and that our end users can maximize the life of moving forward. And outside of public safety, we work in a lot of other market segments. The point here is that we all of them have mission critical facilities and control rooms, and there's a lot of lessons learned that we kind of look to other market segments and bring kind of either to public safety or to air traffic control or to utilities. So, but I'll have one common goal, which is that 24/7 operation. So, enough about Evans. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how you are helping us better understand your needs. I remember the first time I listened to Nathan speak. It's kind of hard to forget. It's one of those things that just stays with you. He came up and talked to quite a few folks within our organization, and as many of you have experienced, there's not really a lot of dry eyes in the house, and especially for folks that are not used to living the 911 environment like us. I have to admit, we look at what you guys do and it's pretty overwhelming, and it was really transformational for our organization. One of the things that Nathan said at the end of his session, which was pretty amazing, he said, you guys do a lot to help this market. And I think that stuck with a lot of people, in every level of the organization. The same was listening to Matt and his presentation, and just the willingness to share your experiences, frustrations, challenges. This makes a huge difference. I think, at least for us as an organization, I'm sure that other organizations in this conference, they're experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, Mako, one of the things that I really wanted to hit home, and that was a really awesome experience. I got to come up to Calgary and see your all's factory and see where all the magic happens as far as all your consoles being built. And one of the things I try to, dispatchers appreciate this more than anybody. They understand that, they're a link in the chain, but there's a lot of other links that have to work in order for them to be able to do their job to, to the level of expectation that the public has, right? And if they're sitting at a console and it's falling apart or it's dirty, or if they're having issues getting repairs, or all those things are just really, really important, and that could affect the outcome of a situation. Like Matt talks about in Vegas during the Mandalay Bay shooting. The control room setup. I mean, when it may not mean a huge. You may be able to get around certain design hiccups in a comm center, on a normal routine day. But when everything's hitting the fan, like on October 1, 2017, it can really rear its ugly head. So I just wanted your guys at Evans to understand, and your gals at Evans to understand that they do matter as well. Like, they're making a huge impact in this industry, just like dispatchers are. If they're building a quality console that they can sit at and they're not worrying about it falling apart all the time, or it's not going up and down the way it should, et cetera, it really does make a difference. So I wanted them to remember that what they do is all, even though it's a small part, the dispatchers are the big part, but just because it's a small part, they are impacting, lives being saved. So, it was an awesome opportunity, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Nathan. And like I said, that meant a lot to the entire organization. So the next slide. And then what was really interesting is in getting to know Nathan and working with Tanya, really understanding some of the other folks that are driving what we feel is systematic change within the organization. It's incredible the bond and kind of the camaraderie, if you will, dispatchers is pretty amazing. It's very unique. You saw earlier that we work across different industries, and this is the one place where I have been pretty amazed with the amount of sharing of information, with the amount of folks who are focused on bettering everybody's lives. So we talked about the Denise Amberley Foundation, but within the trenches and all the different folks that we've been kind of exposed to and being able to listen to. It's been a great experience, and your feedback matters. So I think it's really important, and these types of events are quite amazing.
Yeah, and I think that just speaking on this slide for just a minute, what you're talking about is kind of the biggest reason why I have such a passion for 911 and the community that we have built here. You have a couple of things up there, the I Am 911 movement, just what Ricardo's doing in helping everyone by letting them share their story and helping each other by sharing that and knowing that somebody out there understands. And the 911 Wonder Women who we actually had on Feel Good Friday last week, which was amazing. But that in and of itself is an amazing movement. And it's not just designed to empower women, even though that's a big part of it. It's us all coming together and supporting each other and being there for each other in a true and genuine way. And that all is going to help us become better. And so that's why I'm passionate about this, for sure.
And your feedback works. I put together this slide just to kind of, sometimes it's good to look back at kind of where things were in the 90s, as they progressed to the 2000s with flat screens coming online, and then around 2010, it was all about kind of the large monitor configurations and the arrays and things like that, and kind of where we are currently. So that feedback helps because it helps drive us, it helps drive change within within public safety agencies. And so it's a good thing. And I think what we're seeing in the last few years and what we're going to be seeing moving forward is going to be pretty transformational. And one more click, Tanya.
One more click, babe.
There we go.
Sorry, it's me clicking, not Tanya. That's why I didn't know.
Oh, that figures. Okay, I should have known. Sorry, Tanya.
It's okay.
So and it's going to the next level. I mean, technology is evolving, interactions are evolving, and again, as I mentioned earlier, you can catch more detail of some of this if you look at the presentation from yesterday once we upload it. But it's going to be pretty transformational, and I think it's going to help you have better, I guess, integrity of operations and flexibility of operations when you listen to what happened during the Denise Amberley event. These types of things are going to start really changing the way that folks respond in their situational awareness. And so I want to talk a little bit about disruptive change, because really that's what we're going to be kind of facing moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is really funny. Sorry, I was reading it, and I was thinking about how funny it is that you have a Wi-Fi joke in there, and you were having internet issues yesterday. Sorry, I gotta throw you under the butt.
But again, thank you for pointing that out.
No.
But disruptive change is a kind of a non-localized irreversible change. These are just some of the kind of quotes. And, some of the things that we're seeing is things like, obviously, global events. There's a lot of social change, technology change, political and policy changes. And another big one is generational change. So it's going to keep coming.
Yeah. And this, I mean, you think about the world we're in right now, and, with the way the world stopped, back in February, March, April, and how many really is disruptive change can kind of turn into a positive as well, right? Because I'm trying to look at the positive glass half full, because for me personally, I haven't been traveling like I was, and this virtual world is now kind of opening up as a huge opportunity, not just for me selfishly that I don't have to be on the road as much and I can still get Denise's story out there, but more importantly, I think there's been a lot of dispatchers that are in areas of the country that don't really get to have a lot of training come in person, whether it's due to funding or geography. and this is opening up a new world that is allowing a lot more people to get to kind of see some of these awesome trainings. These free virtual conferences like Ricardo has done is really opening up a whole lot of awesomeness. So I just wanted to give that quick shout out because I think that's really, really important. I know there's a lot of dispatchers on here that'll probably appreciate that.
Absolutely. So some of the recent examples, kind of, after September 11th and the events there's been a fundamental shift in operational reality and funding for 911. That's one example of a really big change. There was a lot of consolidation, a lot of different sources of funding that didn't exist in the past, and it really drove a lot of change in public safety. Technology, the whole transition from a flat screen from a CRT to a flat screen, that was pretty big. The evolution of CAD systems, voice over IP, all of these different things. And then, it's interesting. So, you walk into a comm center today, and pretty much every single one I've ever walked into has a sit-stand station. And, the public safety market in the early 2000s was the first one to drive this across the board. There's market segments to this day, like utilities and things like that, that don't have adjustable height workstations in control rooms. So there's a lot of positives that you are doing as kind of an organization, or if you will, as an industry. So that's pretty incredible. And then the impact of social media, Nathan touched on that. So the increased interactions, training, feedback, and also the impact on social media operationally, the way that you communicate. You're not just using kind of the 911 call as a means of communication. Now there's tweets being sent out and Facebook messages and all these different forms of communication. And of course, the new generation entering the workforce. And I really like that little kind of comic there, because it's pretty indicative of kind of what's going on.
We have a mall here, one of the big malls that just was built up in Sarasota. They have like these really cool, like the maps, interactive maps. Well, it's like a triangle. Well, one of the sides is an interactive map that you can do that. And then I literally have been that guy that's walked up to the other sides and is like doing this, trying to get it to move. And everybody knows my pain has been there. So.
Very true. And, as Tanya told me, as we were kind of talking about this presentation, a lot of dispatchers don't like change, right? In fact, some people hate it. And some people view it as negative, but really it can be very, very positive and drive very positive change. And we can kind of see that happening before us. So, going a little bit deeper on the influence of social media and the Internet of Things is, just the increased awareness about dispatchers and your role. Like I said earlier, I mean, it's been pretty amazing to be able to set up a conference like Ricardo did, where, somebody like myself who really had limited insight into your organization, into your pain points, into what you have to go through. It's pretty incredible that we can hear all of that. And it allows your community to be a lot more unified, I feel, kind of as if you will, an outsider looking in. And it's an impressive amount of feedback, and that's good. That's going to drive really, really positive change. And I think, we can all leverage this disruptive change to get more and more good things happening for you kind of on the front line to help make your lives easier.
Right.
And some of the things that are coming, I mean, obviously, everybody's frame of mind right now, the whole impact of COVID, and really it's forcing everybody to kind of address the kind of issues of operational risk in public safety, from keeping the employees safe, from keeping the facilities clean and sanitized, all the way to, how do you manage a pandemic? Tanya and I had a great 1-hour conversation with a comm center manager, a very large one, and just listening to the stress in his voice, trying to ensure that his employees are being safe, and that he's not going to have an outbreak was pretty eye-opening. So that's going to have an impact. Things like design of facilities, increasing the importance of replicated sites. So that historic thought of a backup facility being just a backup facility. A lot of them a lot of centers think that way, but there's some that actually have fully replicated facilities, like the city of New York. They have essentially two PSAC facilities, one in Brooklyn and one in Staten Island. And when they got hit pretty hard, they were able to achieve instant 50% social distancing without compromising their operation and mitigate the risk of an outbreak by 50%. What I mean by that is folks are starting to think about that. And when you're talking about that to city council today versus 2 years ago, there's going to be a very, very different level of understanding and appreciation. So that's that continuous change that's going to evolve. And again, this is another slide that I just took from yesterday's presentation, but that change that is coming, it's starting with plexi dividers, which is kind of at the operational level, which you can kind of put in and kind of to protect folks even in existing sites. But then as you start to look outwards, it kind of builds in scope and complexity. There's things that we're looking at now, like building HVACs. So on a building HVAC level where nobody thought of putting HEPA level filtration systems, now that is going to become the norm. Just like sit-stand consoles started becoming the norm in the 2000s. So that's going to drive some real change. Access control, so the bottom right-hand picture, why screen people physically with a thermometer when you can put a camera with access control outside of the comm center and simply do the screening there. And if there's an elevated body temperature, you can put them in a room that's outside of the, call it secure zone. So remote screening is a big one. Cleaning protocols have changed, and Tanya can probably talk to you a lot about that, about how she's seeing kind of that shift in kind of some of the cleaning protocols. And as you go outwards, things like remote access, I've talked to some folks that have already started doing that in their operation just to mitigate that risk. The layout planning of centers is starting to change. The task separation, so who all needs to be in there, really, and what tasks can be separated and mitigated, and then technology management. And then really kind of that outer layer is kind of, the building design itself. How are buildings, for those starting brand new designs and their PSAPs, how are they going to approach the design? Are they going to take these measures into place? Are they maybe going to put, for cases of, call it an extreme pandemic, not to say that this one is not extreme enough, is there going to be sleeping facilities? Is there going to be, are there going to be different considerations in there? And then also what I talked about is kind of redundant or replicated sites and facilities. So these are all things that we see are going to be coming over the next little while. And again, this will be an added benefit. So not just the things I talked about, but once you start implementing this technology and these layouts, really it's going to bring some other fringe benefits, and things like screen consolidation. So we believe that that's going to be a big trend. So moving away from 6 or 7 screens to 2 screens and using dashboard approaches. And again, if you want to know more about that, you can find out if you look at the YouTube presentation of where technology is going there. Keyboard consolidation, improved collaboration. So all of these things are going to kind of start happening as a result of this.
I like your picture in this slide, Matko, because I used to work for FPL, so that's funny.
Oh, did you?
Small world.
This is really cool. I'll tell you a little bit of background of it. This is a drone control room. So this is how, talk about disruptive change. You no longer have to send people up to look at power lines. You can send a drone, and you can control it from here, anywhere in the state of Florida. So
yeah, it's cool. Well, that's why I don't work at FPL anymore, because they stopped using meter readers. Now they do it all remotely. So
there you go.
But no, it was good. It was a great company to work for.
So Nathan's a good example of where disruptive change can be really annoying, but it works out really well in the end. So there you go.
Hey, they moved everybody in the company somewhere else. Like, it wasn't like they fired everybody. So that props to them for that. I ended up leaving just before that happened, but for other reasons, as you all know. But yeah, so good times.
Sure. And so kind of to close things off, and I'm attempting my version of dispatch humor, so apologies. Like I said, I'm coming out of left field here, but I really wanted to say, and we really wanted to say, thank you for the incredible work that you do across the country every single day, day in and day out. and absolutely for the incredible inspirational stories that you are willing to share. Thank you for that. And for being so passionate about what you do, because I think passion drives passion. When we see what you do, when we see what Nathan does, when we see what Ricardo does, it kind of helps us as an organization really kind of adopt the same approach and be passionate about this industry, which we already are. We're just more passionate now. And for being the community you are, and most importantly, I really wanted to thank all of you for letting us be a part of it. And, Ricardo, for everything that you're doing and putting this conference together and allowing us to participate and present and, some of our thoughts and best practices. It's really pretty incredible. And, we wanted to say thank you as an organization. And also, I'm looking forward to day 2. Day 1 was amazing, but looking forward to it. Tanya?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in and you can finish. Okay. So I just want to, again, I'm going to be teaching or doing a couple other sessions later today, and agreed, Matko, well said. Thank you all for what you do and all the amazing sacrifices you all make that are really not appreciated as much as they should be. Again, that's the common theme in the dispatch world, is kind of the unseen, forgotten, not heard of. And there's not enough people out there fighting for you. But I want to say just one thing. The Denise Amberley Foundation is a nonprofit, and Evans is one of our biggest supporters. And I don't just say that from, they donate money to the foundation. Like, literally, I've never seen a company so passionate about trying to make your job better, and to make your job easier, and to really getting down to the people in the seat that are doing the job. And talking about building design and comm center design, like, Evans really pushes that you get your people involved. Those are directors and managers that are watching this that might be building a new center or buying new consoles. Get your people involved. Find out what they want. Get their, that's one of the best parts of leadership out there, is let your people feel like their voice matters. So, Matko, just thank you for what you do for the foundation, but also, more importantly, just thank you for what Evans has done for this industry, and your support of this conference. It helps put this conference on, and just thank everybody at Evans from all of this. So appreciate it. And you didn't tell me to say that, so everybody he's probably mad at me for saying all that, but thank you, Matko.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of really hard to follow that, but I mean, along those same lines, I just want to say that change is inevitable. Like, we all have to adapt. We've seen that more this year probably than ever. But the thing that I am the most proud of Evans, and the reason why I love working for Evans, is because we really are dedicated to helping you and becoming better for you. And like Nathan said, we want to hear from you. We want to help make your job easier. And so whatever we can do for you, please let us know. And thank you so much for joining us and helping us kick everything off this morning.
All right. Excellent. Excuse me. Thank you so much for the opening presentation, the uplifting words, for all the love, especially those in the comments as well. This has been an amazing experience, and just to hear everything that you're talking about and what you're creating, just like Gary says down here, making councils for comfort and efficiency, not money. That is awesome, and just the homage really out to dispatch, the most vital piece of public safety, and everything that is coming to light. They're in the forefront, as they've always been, but even more so now. And it's a new day, man. This is how we're doing it, and it's good. So thank you, all of you, for being part of this, and for especially for being a diamond sponsor of Dare to Be Great 2, this fall virtual conference. And it's been excellent so far. And this whole day is going to be jam-packed with more amazing sessions. So stay tuned, everyone. The next sessions that are going to be coming up are going to be the Diamond sponsor vendor hall sessions, and then we have the gold ones as well. And then after that, we have Tyrell Morris, who's going to be kicking it off as keynote speaker, and then several sessions after that, some excellent ones there. Now, as we're moving into the next one, what you need to remember is up at the very left-hand corner, depending on what device you have. If you're on a phone or a tablet, it might be different. But in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see schedule. Click on the schedule, and click on the schedule, and it'll drop down. You'll be able to choose between the 3 sessions that'll be going on for the Diamond sponsor speakers, and enjoy those sessions. They're going to be excellent, and we will talk to all of you soon. Again, thank you very much, Matco, Tanya, and Nathan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, one last thing. For all of you who were in the session yesterday with Karima Holmes, our keynote speaker, amazing session, by the way. I checked my email this morning, and I do have the presentation, so I will be adding it to the website. We'll put a link out there, and I'll share it on social media so that all of you have it once again. So have a good one this time for sure. And we'll be going to the next session. Have a good one.
Wait, I'm just kidding.
But wait, there's more.